Have you ever taken the last train home? That final service of the night, when the carriages are almost empty and the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the track is the only sound you hear. Most of the time, it's just a quiet, uneventful journey. But for one man, let's call him Alex, his last train ride turned into a story he'd be telling for the rest of his life. A story that makes you wonder what really lurks in the shadows after the city goes to sleep. It was a Tuesday, just past midnight. Alex had been working late, a common occurrence in his line of work. He trudged down the stairs to the subway platform, the air thick with the smell of damp concrete and electricity. The station was deserted, save for a few stray pigeons and the distant hum of the ventilation system. The digital sign flickered. Final train. 2 minutes. He was exhausted, his mind already halfway home, thinking about a warm bed. He didn't notice anything unusual at first. The train arrived with a familiar screech, its doors sliding open to reveal a nearly empty carriage. He stepped inside, found a seat, and pulled out his phone, ready to zone out for the 20-minute ride. There were only 3 other people in his carriage. A woman in a business suit, fast asleep with her head against the window. An old man near the door, clutching a worn leather briefcase. And then there was her, a young woman sitting directly across from him. She wore a simple white dress, which seemed a little out of place for a chilly autumn night. Her dark hair fell over her face, obscuring her features. Alex didn't pay her much mind, just another late-night traveler like himself. He put in his earbuds and leaned his head back, closing his eyes. The train lurched forward, starting its journey into the darkness of the tunnels. A few minutes passed. Alex felt a sudden chill, the kind that has nothing to do with the temperature. He opened his eyes. The sleeping businesswoman was gone. The old man was gone. He looked around. The carriage was now completely empty, except for him and the woman in the white dress. Her head was still bowed, her hair hiding her face. Alex felt a knot of unease form in his stomach. Had they gotten off at the last stop? He hadn't even noticed the train stopping. He was sure he would have felt it. He shook his head, blaming his exhaustion. His mind was playing tricks on him. He tried to go back to his music, but he couldn't. He kept glancing at the woman. There was something off about her, the way she sat so perfectly still, almost like a statue. The white dress seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the carriage. The train rumbled on, the rhythmic sound now feeling more like a slow, heavy heartbeat. The lights inside the carriage began to flicker. On, off, on, off. Each time the lights came back on, Alex's heart hammered against his ribs. He felt a primal fear creeping up his spine. He wanted to get up, to move to another carriage, but his legs felt like lead. He was frozen to his seat. Then she moved. Slowly, she lifted her head. Alex's breath caught in his throat. Where her face should have been, there was nothing. Justa's smooth, featureless surface, like polished marble. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. A blank, terrifying emptiness. The lights flickered again, more violently this time, and when they steadied, she was closer. She was now sitting on the seat right next to him. He hadn't seen her move, hadn't heard a sound. She was just there. He could feel an intense cold radiating from her, a cold that seeped into his bones. He wanted to scream, but the sound was trapped in his throat. The train wasn't stopping. It was speeding up, hurtling through the tunnel faster and faster. The familiar stations flashed by in a blur of light and color, the train showing no signs of slowing down. Panic set in. Where was the train going? He looked at the emergency brake, but it felt a million miles away. The faceless woman turned her blank head towards him. He couldn't see her eyes, but he felt her gaze, a heavy, crushing weight that seemed to press down on his very soul. He felt a cold, faint whisper in his ear, a sound like rustling leaves, but the words were unintelligible, ancient, and filled with sorrow. He squeezed his eyes shut, praying for it all to be a nightmare. He recited street names, address, anything to ground himself in reality. When he dared to open his eyes again, the woman was gone. The carriage was empty. The cold was gone. The train was slowing down, its brakes squealing as it pulled into a station. He looked out the window. It was his stop. The doors slid open with a gentle hiss. He scrambled out of his seat and onto the platform. not daring to look back. He ran. He ran up the stairs, out of the station, and into the cool night air, gasping for breath, his heart pounding like a drum. When he finally got home, he locked the door, leaned against it, and slid to the floor, shaking uncontrollably. Was it real, or was it just a waking nightmare brought on by stress and lack of sleep? He tried to rationalize it. The other passengers must have gotten off. The flickering lights were just a malfunction. The woman was a hallucination. It had to be, but the memory of that blank face, the feeling of that soul-crushing cold was too vivid, too real to be simply dismissed. The next day, Alex was a wreck. He couldn't focus at work. Every shadow seemed to move. Every flicker of a light made him jump. He decided he had to know. He went online searching for news reports, anything related to strange occurrences on the city's subway lines. He dug through old newspaper archives and local forums. At first, he found nothing. But then, deep in a forum dedicated to local ghost stories, he found it. A post from over 10 years ago. It told the story of a young woman who had died on the last train of the night. She had fallen onto the tracks in a deserted station. The story said her spirit never left, forever riding the last train, searching for something she lost. The description of her was chillingly familiar. A young woman in a white dress. According to the legend, she doesn't harm anyone. She's just a sad, lonely spirit, replaying the last moments of her life. But those who see her are never quite the same. They are marked by the encounter, left with a lingering feeling of dread and a newfound fear of the dark, empty spaces of the city. Alex read post after post from people who claimed to have seen her. Their stories were all eerily similar to his own. The sudden cold, the flickering lights, the feeling of being watched, and the sight of a woman in a white dress who sometimes had no face. Alex never took the last train again. He'd rather pay for an expensive taxi than risk another encounter with the faceless passenger. His story became a cautionary tale he shared with friends, a chilling reminder that some things can be explained away by logic and reason. Was she a ghost, a collective hallucination, or something else entirely? We may never know for sure. So, the next time you find yourself on a deserted platform late at night, waiting for that final train home, take a look around, pay attention to your fellow passengers, and if you happen to see a woman in a white dress sitting alone, maybe, just maybe, it's better to wait for the first train in the morning. Thank you for watching. If you have your own chilling late-night story, share it with us in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. And do you want to forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales from the shadows? Stay safe out there.